All right, welcome back to the first podcast of the new year. We'll see how many this is going to take, but this is over chapter 26, which is all about East Asia. So we're going to be looking at two different dynasties in China and then talking a little bit about what's going on in Japan. All right, so let's start with the Ming, which started in period 3. They're going to last from 1368 to 1644. They are the ones who are going to finally get rid of Mongol influence. You have Emperor Hongwu, who helped lead a revolt. He was a Buddhist monk who had come from a peasant background, and so he helped kick out the Mongols. One of the things that the Mings do is they're going to use traveling officials to help maintain control of their empire, and they are the first to start using eunuchs, which were castrated men that were able to rise to political prominence in China. One of the things that the Mings are going to have to do is to completely start over after the Mongols. They have to go reinstitute everything that the previous dynasties had done to make themselves more Chinese. So as far as emperors to know, like I said, I would know Hongwu, and then I would also know Yongle, who moves the capital to Beijing, more specifically the northern capital, because they do have a southern capital in Nanjing. And then he's the one who helps sponsor all of Zheng He's voyages, and we'll talk about that later. All right, so that's the Ming. Okay. One of the things that they do is they are going to rebuild the Great Wall and connect it and make it what it is today when you think about the Great Wall. And like I said, it started way back in the Qin dynasty, but they added guard towers and they had room for their soldiers. They, like I said, connected it so that it's 1,500 miles long, put the brick on it, fortified it, so that way they could try to keep any type of foreign invader out, which is going to work until 1644. So picture of Great Wall if you don't know what it's like. Okay, so like I said, they had to completely get rid of everything that the Mongols had done. They wanted everyone to quit dressing like they had under the Mongols and get rid of Mongol names. We're completely reinstituting Confucian values. So Confucian schools, civil service exam, filial piety, all this stuff. Like I mentioned earlier, Zheng He was the sailor who was sponsored by Emperor Yongle. He has 7 different voyages that take him all throughout East Asia, Southeast Asia. He goes over to Africa, makes it to the Atlantic Ocean. The whole purpose of his expeditions was to power project. And so China's reemerged. They are trying to show everybody that, look, we're back. We're still great. And that was pretty much the whole purpose of his expeditions, was just to show off the grandeur of what China was. His flagship was a very large 9-masted junk, which was the ships that the Chinese used for trading purposes, except his was enormously large. And Columbus's largest ship, the Santa Maria, was like 80 foot long. His ship is 400. So, I mean, it just went to show like the grandeur of China. And then 2 other things to know about Zheng He. He was Muslim and he was also a eunuch. And he grew up with the emperor, which is why he was able to get in the position he was and then be offered the opportunity to go explore. As far as culture, you had lots of art and literature during this time. Journey to the West was one of the big novels that came out of China during the Ming period. China is still big on silk production. And then one of the main things that they're doing at this point is porcelain, which is what Europeans called China. But their porcelain vases were one of the things that they were known for, and it was one of their highly sought after trade goods. All right, so why did the Ming decline? Well, after the emperor, after Yongle, decided to destroy Zheng He's fleet, there's no one to patrol the oceans, and so now you're going to get pirates. So that's going to hurt trade. That's going to hurt the economy. The emperors go and seclude themselves in the Forbidden City, which is the palace complex that's in Beijing. And they just completely cut themselves off from everybody. So they're going to be very inefficient. There's famine, there's peasant revolts. And so you have rebels that take Beijing in 1644, followed very quickly by the Manchus, who were a nomadic group from north of the Great Wall. And once they came in, they're like, nope, we're not reestablishing the Ming. We're going to do our own thing. And so they established the last dynasty in China called the Qing dynasty, which means the pure dynasty. So I don't know why that slide's on there twice. All right, so I'm going to stop here and then go record another video about the Qing.